day 3 question mark? Yeah, day 3 of playing some Dominaria with a couple standard cards. So we're trying a few new cards today, but first of all, I want to go over the cards that I'm not using. I'm not using the come into play tapped blue land. Just of the strong opinion that any come into play tap lands are very, very bad for this deck. I barely want to play these at cycle, and if I was going to play more come into play tap lands, I feel like I'd play maybe a duel or something. But anyway, so moving on from that, I've moved up to 2 Silhouette, 2 Gideon's Reproach, which those are typically like where I used to play Effort Mutation or Effer Meltdown, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. I played the card literal thousands of times. Don't know what it's called. Yeah. I'm not actually sure which one's better, so I'm just testing 2 and 2 right now. I have the inclination that like Gideon's Reproach is actually better than Silhouette, but I'm not strong enough in my convictions to just agree with that. I've also trimmed down one of the cast outs, which probably isn't correct, but I think the Teferi plays kind of a similar role to where it can get rid of a problematic threat for a turn or two for you to draw an answer. We've also subtracted 1 search. If there's going to be a bunch of blue decks in the format, I'm definitely going to add that back. But from right now, I expect the format to be a little bit more aggressive than general. We also removed 1 Fumigate from the main, adding a Force Settle, because I believe playing Settle into untapping and playing Teferi is just an insane thing. I feel like that's going to be really strong in this deck. In the sideboard, we're trying a couple of Lyras over Regal Caracals, but because Lyra's legendary, I still have 1 Caracal in the deck, because drawing like 2 Lyra would be pretty crappy if they don't have the removal spell. And I didn't want to overload with 3 because I think that'll come up kind of often if we play 3, but kind of seldom if we play 2. Other comments on the deck, I don't actually know if we need the 3rd approach right now. Feel like the deck has gotten a little more grindy and can actually just find the approaches easier. We're playing 1 Hieroglyphic Illumination over 1 Glimmer, but this is primarily because I feel like this deck needs between 26 and 27 lands, and for the life of me, I just could not find the card to make the last cut, and I think even playing 26 would be a little bit greedy. So we're playing uber greedy and added 1 Cycler to try to make up for it, which is probably horrendously bad. The Nezahal in the sideboard is probably not important again, unless there's just a lot more of those blue decks. Blue control decks like blue-black control and mirrors and stuff that you would expect. So like this card could potentially be cut. And I do have the search in the sideboard. Again, it's good in all of the blue-based matches, but like you can bring it in versus several of the mid-range decks as well. So this is just kind of like take 1, not played a single game of this build. Going to just going to run it for a league, see how it feels, and consider making changes afterwards. Don't like that we don't have anything to do on turn 1 anymore except for the farmlands, so like games that we don't draw farmlands, that's going to kind of suck. I'm kind of in love with this card though. Hey, look at it. What's up, man? Hey, Yoda. Good evening to you as well. And scoot that over there. Click play. And snap keep. We have a Cycler to help us look for more lands, and we have a turn 2 search if we need. Versus more aggressive decks, we also have, you know, just Essence Scatter or Hardcasting the Censor. I said good evening to you too. Hope you're having a quality day. I hear my granny in the ice cream bucket right now, and I'm so jealous that I'm streaming and can't obtain any. Ooh, red-black with a treasure map. I like our 2-drop more than their 2-drop. Kinda want this land, so I think I'm gonna put it on top. think I want this land. I think there's a good chance that we do have 2 Teferis in the list. Oh yes. I might try to save this Censor for a Teferi turn, but I may just cycle it this turn. It really depends on what he plays. Another treasure map, well that's too good, so we'll definitely censor it then. There's only 3, hey McCarty, Josh, hope everything's going well. We only have 3 cast outs in our main deck. Definitely gonna put that one in the graveyard now. So, just these artifacts could be kind of problematic. Because the cast out does come, or sorry, the treasure map flips 1 turn before we can even draw Teferi. And Azur's Gateway on top of a cast out. So if we disallow that, so this thing can flip. We do have Field of Runes in our deck, so I think I'm going to go ahead and counterspell this. I think Gateway, we never pressure his life total, so it could just flip and be too high for us to deal with. Put that in the graveyard, sure. Well, there's our cast out. I'm just going to go ahead and play it. I don't want him flipping that thing. The problem with this is he can now like resolve an Angraf or a Chandra or like a big Dargon, which the Dargons wouldn't be that bad, but long story short is we're missing our land drop and everything because of it. And a Karn. Karn's pretty unreasonable here, so reveals the top card and opponent put one of the cards into their hand. What do? Does 5 damage to target creature if the spell is kicked. Oh wow, if the spell is kicked, he can do it to players as well? Huh. Alright, you can have that. Alright, well we could have a lot of problems right now. Rip. Screw us for not having a land. Don't want to miss another land drop, so... Looks like we're going to miss another land drop anyway. We've put 1 land in our graveyard now, and we've looked through 19 cards. This is unfortunate. This is the way you lose games of this deck, but we are playing 1 to 2 lands shy in the build. I don't care a whole lot about that card. You can have the Braid. For the Braid does nothing. There's no artifact or creature in our deck. Alright, so no matter what, this is a land this turn, and that's good. Alright, so we can actually just cast out that now. Which I think is the plan here, because if we just play Teferi and tick it up, there's way too high of a chance that he's got a Vraska's Contempt. I'm not worried about him minusing onto Teferi or using the -1, so I'm going to wait and cast out at end of his turn so that he doesn't just play a second. So he's going to just get a land with that. That's fine. So get rid of that now. This is horrible for us. Hey, Boot. Not a lot, man. Hope everything's going well for you. Another one of those, which is fine. So we'll cast out the Chandra. It's more threatening than the Karn. And then we'll probably use the Teferi. We do not have the Oath in this list. To be honest, I needed to cut one more card than what I already even have in the list. And I couldn't think of anything to cut. Yeah, getting to use Teferi twice is pretty impressive. I would want to put Karn and everything in the deck, though, if I did that. Which, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just... Could definitely just be right. So we could get rid of this now, which seems like it could be worth it for me. That's fair. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I need more planeswalkers, like some Gideons and maybe a Karn, even, because like Karn could be good in this deck if I wanted to do that. But right now I just have the 2 Teferis. Be interesting to see what his cards are. We know he has these 2 in his hand, which do nothing. That can't redirect to Teferi anymore, can it? Yeah, that can't redirect to Teferi anymore, so we fine with that. This is unfortunate. So let's start with this and see if we hit our land. And we don't, because why would we hit our land? Put one of those on the bottom, one of those on top. Play our land. Untap 2 lands, so you and you. Could have played the Search for Azcanta, but I want to leave up the Azcanta activation just in case. Yeah, that Oath of Teferi can do some crazy things if we're playing enough Planeswalkers. You found our land? What's our land? So all of my creature removal spells seem like they're doing very little here. So he's making a thing to fight Teferi, I guess? Or maybe it's so when he ultimates this, he can like spend things on it? We'll take the Glimmer. Put the others on the bottom. Oh. Oh. Fair, fair. I see what you're saying now. Sorry. Sometimes I'm a little slow. Alright, well, we'll play that. And that. So we know it's 7 cards down, 6 cards down because we're ticking up Teferi. So he's going to get to ultimate this. Probably. Kind of curious what else in his deck. We know he has these in his hand, so it could only be 4 cards. His Chandra not being able to kill our Teferi was really sweet for us. So next turn, maybe we should have, nah, you can have this one. Maybe we should have cast like a fumigate. Well, I guess we couldn't cast a fumigate. Never mind. He didn't even play the mountain? That's weird. We're definitely living on an edge here. Hey, JJ, thank you so much, man. Highly appreciate that. So he's going to deal 10 damage to that thing, and we're fine with that because that thing had done its job. Oh, wait. He can split the damage. I didn't realize that. Alright, so we're probably dead then. It's very unlikely that we win this game. Opponent's only going to have to cast 3 spells next turn to kill us. Hey, Dong. Welcome. Opponent's only going to have to cast 3 spells to kill us. JK. JK. Oh, sorry. We know our card's 5 cards down now, so we know we draw it next turn. I couldn't cast Azcanta. We only had 1 land untapped. The other 2 lands that were untapped come from Teferi, and that happens during the end step. So we had 8 lands, and we used 7 of it to cast Approach. I guess if I kill this, it gains us a point. It gains us potentially 3 points of life, but then we just don't win on our next turn. Yeah, we just don't win on our next turn if we do that. He doesn't have enough mana to kick another one of these anyway. No worries, Yoda. It's easy to miss that stuff. I mean, you see 3 untapped lands. I mean, it's a new card, a new effect. It's easy to miss when those lands untapped and stuff like that. An interesting thing about Teferi, and a warning for anybody who wants to play it, it says at the beginning of your end step, you untap 2 lands. Well, you cannot untap an untapped permanent. So if you don't have 2 lands tapped, you have to tap 2 of your opponent's lands. But you can always go into your end step with just trigger on the stack and just randomly tap 2 of your lands. If you want. Like how me and my opponent are just both anti-creature decks. Like neither of us are even considering a creature. I wonder if I can play Nezahal. I wonder if I can sideboard Nezahal in this match. So he's probably not sideboarding this out, so that means Lyra's probably not great. Okay. It's just got all the Chandras and all the Karns. I guess I'm doing this. It doesn't matter. I'm putting the 2 cards on the bottom and just getting Approach regardless. So we know the Approach is our 5th card down. So we know we're going to untap and draw Approach. Unless our math's bad. And our math's usually not bad. Doing things. Alright, let's think about how we're going to sideboard. We're definitely bringing in the additional cast out. We're definitely bringing in this. We're definitely bringing in this. And we're definitely bringing in these. I think it's very arguable that, like, potentially the Nezahal comes in, but I doubt the cats do, and I doubt the Dawnbringer does, especially when he's already playing the thing that just kills 3 damage. Hey, Zincy. Yes, he done a pretty good amount of work that game for us as well. Cards that we know we don't need. We probably don't need Silhouette. We Probably don't need fumigates. I don't know what he's sideboarding into. It could be anything. But this is just based on what we saw in the main deck. Probably don't actually want the Nezahal. The Nezahal could actually just be very bad, right? Hey, buttons. Wait, what are you guys talking about? That dude has given 25k bits. That's ridiculous. He's gave some cash donations too. Like he slayed it. I still don't know who X Taylor Swift X is, or do I? They used to troll Matt a lot. I don't think they even use that account anymore. It's kind of interesting. He didn't show us a single creature. He just didn't show us a single creature. I'm going to pretend like he just doesn't have creatures then. No, it costs, like, kind of a lot of mana. It's generally going to be. So if an opponent has no creatures, we just don't have enough cards to really bring in. I'll bring some of these in just in case. I don't know. I never expected to get paired versus a 0 creature deck. Alright, fine. But that's the main reason. I think it costs a lot of mana, and I think Disallow is better than it in general. We're still running Censors because I think Censor's just really good at helping you get your land count. So this hand's pretty good. Unless all of a sudden he's got like glint sleeve siphoners and stuff, and then this hand goes from really good to really bad really quick. Syncopate's a very good card though. I could definitely see it in a later build of the deck. This is just the first day and the first build of the deck. And by the way, hi Nal, what's up? So he had one of his 2-drops, we had one of our 2-drops. I think our 2-drop in general is stronger than his 2-drop. Might need some Forsake the Worldlies or whatever in the sideboard at the moment. This is the first match of the night. It's kind of like a long pause to play a land. I already have my settle, so I don't really care about any of my other cards. Wouldn't mind to keep Disallow, but actually really sick to my stomach too. This might be a quick night. Yes, to the graveyard. Because I didn't even want to sideboard you in. And we don't have the lands for you. Think I'm going to play this one. Primarily because it gets us a white mana. Yeah, it's been a while since we played it. My stomach is killing me. May have to take a quick AFK, which sucks. Because our opponent's deck is sweet. And if I take the AFK, that means it won't be on the video. Already have your settle? I'm not sure what you're asking. I'm sorry. I don't know what he's going to do with that mana, but that's fine. Yeah, it could be food. I ate the greasiest hamburger I've ever saw today. To the graveyard you go, friendo. Let's see, he saw this one, so we'll go ahead and play it. He's going to flip his treasure map this game. Oh no, opponent duressed our Disallow. The settle went to the graveyard from the search for Mascanta. That's a problematic card. bottom. We're looking for some of our 6 things that can kill that. Kind of want to keep negate. Doesn't really do anything for us here, but I kind of want to keep it anyway. Just in case he has got like Karn or like a follow-up. Kind of just wanted to slam the Dawnbringer, but I'm actually allergic to Pepto-Bismol. Pepto-Bismol has aspirin in it, and I am definitely allergic to aspirin. I could have Hulk, but like, he showed us a bunch of Chandras and a bunch of Karns in his main deck, and I can only assume he's got a bunch of Angraphs as well. So I felt like I really needed to get to our white mana. Felt like it's kind of important to get to our white mana. But yeah, killing this card could have been vital. I kind of want to kill this too, but I'm not sure if I should. This deck seems very mana heavy. Killing that guarantees that no matter what we see on top of our library, we can get a flipped search with this. Could have been talking about the second Field of Ruin as well, which is probably what you meant. And I'm just sounding like an idiot now. Alright. Do we get another negate? We do not. Oh, well met, JJ. Alright, well, we could use some help here. Go Lucky? Tylenol. I'm not allergic to codeine products. I think it's too high of a likelihood that he could have just killed the Dawnbringer, even though we don't have the mana for it anyway. And there's always a chance that, like, if he doesn't have that black card, that we can literally just top deck an approach and win at any time. Let's read this card because I'm not actually sure what it does. Oh, you can play it from your exile zone. That's neat AF. So we have a few draw steps to stop that Chandra, but Lost Legacy. All right. Well, that's the problematic card, but I don't think we had any other options. We're not in a spot where we could like play a super long game. We are in a spot where if we hit a cast out and his hand's not particularly great, that like maybe the Dawnbringer can just win the game. So we're going to get our draw step for our turn. So we're going to be able to look at 5 cards to try to find a cast out or a Ixalan's Binding for this. That's a lot of cards. But if they're playing Lost Legacy, this match is going to be kind of hard. Boom. That makes no sense. He just looked at my deck and saw that I can never use my graveyard. Like, there's no Torrential Gearhulk or anything in my deck, so why did he do that? I think I would rather play the Glimmer, because like potentially we can keep a land or maybe even 2 of them. Strike 1, strike 2. Alright, so we hit a cast out. So we are still playing Magic. Yep, Tylenol is my headache of choice med. I have no idea why he used that Scavenging Grounds. Well, you can put the scavenging grounds in your hand. Maybe you'll use it too. Yeah, but the thing is, he could draw like a discard spell or something, and then the disallow doesn't even work, or like maybe he just ticks it up and plays safe. Yeah, if we ever get a second white source, hopefully this Dawnbringer is going to do some stuffs. Doesn't look like we're very likely to get it, so we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 plus this. So if I play this land, we could do it all, but alright, so Dawnbringer's coming down next turn. We'll have to look for a spell to try to protect it. That's interesting. Alright, well you can have this one. Went ahead and played it. That's going to be very good versus our Dawnbringers, by the way. Hey Matt, thank you for the auto host, man. Yeah, we're not in great shape here. Like things are going bad. We may have to like disallow this trigger or something. They have 4 cards in their hand. We don't know what any of them are. Presumably, they're like those things that deal 10 damage to us and stuff. And it is. I guess we'll take the negate then. And since he sees the negate, we're going to go ahead and use it, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it doesn't really change anything. And I think this card's just better in general. Alright. Well, Lyra, you are everything at this point in the game. Prove to us how great you are, Bay. Put a card you own into your hand, sure. Does it tell us which ones they put in their hand? They put the Chandra in their hand. Vraska's Contempt. So we don't care if they resolve the Vraska now, or we don't care if they resolve the Karn or Chandra. She could be overpriced. I think she's great. I think she's just great. Well, that's unfortunate. So we're just dead on board. This match seems pretty terrible. Like our deck's soft to 4 mana removals or 4 mana. Our deck is soft to 4 mana planeswalkers, and he just has like a bunch of them. Also, I think Settle's probably worse than Fumigate now. Though I will leave 1 Settle in the deck. We're pretty close. It's not going to be very many games that we beat a Lost Legacy from a deck like theirs, though. We're going to easily keep this hand. This hand's great. We also didn't have our second white mana for about a year, which affected that game quite a bit, I think. We have our Search for Azcanta again. Probably quite a few. I thought about trying it in the Pure Steel Paladin deck. What do we got going on here? A white mana, I guess we'll keep that one. I should have played the Rivulet, but there's just almost no chance that I'm casting or cycling either of these sensors this game. There's like very little chance of that. Somebody quoted that. Nice. Oh, JJ quoted it. Opponent just doesn't have anything. If opponent doesn't have anything, I'm definitely keeping sensors, because sensors are hard counters in that situation. We'll keep that too. Just want all of our counter spells. Playing for the late game. We have a lot of ways to win the game, even if he does have a Lost Legacy. So they left Sweltering Suns in for our one cat. It could be a situation like us where we left some Wraths in when we didn't want to. Gonti is good enough to counterspell. I guess we'll keep that because we can cycle it if we need to, and if we don't need to, we can just censor it. The question is, do we bother to play the kitty cat now? Like, what goes wrong if we play the kitty cat? You know, like Karn and Tick Down doesn't do anything. Karn doesn't do anything. Chandra doesn't do anything. Another Gonti would suck. I'm fine with this. I think Karn's been pretty good from what I've saw. Like it was amazing versus us so far. So this like makes all his planeswalkers kind of bad, so it makes him have to do something else on his turn, which is why I like playing that, even though we have a bunch of counter spells. Because I don't really care if he casts Lost Legacy. I don't really care if he does something like that. We'll put that in our graveyard though. Just kind of want to land at this point. There's a land. Yeah, but I think casting the Regal Caracol is kind of like setting back and saying no. He doesn't have enough mana to do anything. Like Gonti is the only bad thing that he can play for us in that situation. Kind of interesting, because I kind of want to use Field of Runes on this turn, but I don't want him to get 3 mana for a Lost Legacy. I don't care if he casts Lost Legacy, I guess. I get to draw. Oh, I tapped the wrong one! I tapped the wrong one. That's a tilt. I meant to cast Disallow. Fuck Magic. That's so frustrating. I had the right one click the first time and then I just messed it up. That's like so annoying. Tilt. It makes all of the plays that we were considering that turn bad, because like we could have filled a rune and like guaranteed flip our Search for Azcanta and have 7 cards and everything. I am super frustrated by that. Super frustrated. I'm not just a little frustrated, I am super frustrated. Because, like, I don't think our approach to the Second Sons are going to win. He has to have, like, no duress, no Lost Legacy for them to win. Oh, that is such a tilt. I think we were in really good shape if we just disallowed Gonti too. Like, I don't even think I care what cards are in his hand. Not when we're getting ready to have an active search. Sure, you can have it. Oh, mind-numbingly sad. I guarantee he's got Lost Legacy the way he's playing the game as well. That guarantees the search can flip even if I want to keep the card. I think we're in pretty rough shape now. I guess I have to discard that. Because if he does just untap and cast Lost Legacy, we're in really bad shape now. He could have our sensors or anything at this point. Could have negates, just anything. Yeah, I sat around and watched you play some Black-White Approach for a bit. I didn't talk a whole lot. I was organizing cards, but it was a fun stream. I was so sad that you weren't using Lich's Mastery. Even though I'm pretty sure that Lich's Mastery isn't good. I just think it's really, really fun. I haven't ever. I've had some people ask me to, but I don't really have a whole lot of cards. Well, this is a positive note. This is very good for us if opponent doesn't draw duress off this. No duress, opponent. No duress, opponent. Alright. The power of approach compels you. And the rat decks seem kind of strong. The power of approach compels you. Is that sacrilegious? But you stream yourself, Boot. You stream yourself. You don't need to pay people to play your decks. See if we can deny this guy a pity chest. Oh God, no, we can't. Alright, this sounds fine. I'm not gonna write home and sing a song, but this isn't a hand that this isn't the type of hand that they write ballads about, but it's good enough to play. Working in quotation marks while watching a stream. I like your kind of work. Exactly what we like to see after we've mulliganed. We like to see that 7-drop. Oh, could be a mirror. If it is a mirror, by the way, look how bad our hand is. Gosh, our hand's bad if it's a mirror. If it's a mirror, I guess I have to speed up my pace of play as well. My pace of play could be called into question in like a long 3-game set. Because I only had like 7 minutes left last game, and that certainly was not a long set. Ha! Now opponent will never play around Censor, because we have 6 last turn. Five? Nah, you gotta get your 4 lands with your rats, man. People pay $15? The streamer's just getting ripped off at $15, ain't they? Or not the streamer, sorry, the viewer. The viewer's getting ripped off. That's too much money. That's way too much money. Uh-oh. Cast out in the house. We've only got 3.5 dead cards now. 15's a lot of money. I didn't make $15 most days. Hey, they missed their land drop first. Some streamers charge more? Wow. I need to get in on this. No, not another dead card. Come on, opponent missed a land drop before us. We've cycled more cards than him. It's our turn to hit a land. You can do it, deck. One time. No, just another dead card. If they hit the 7th land, I'll whine. At least their opponent's hand seems to be as bad as ours. First person to hit the next land's probably going to win. Jim Davis? Jim Davis is on a different level, though. Like, he's streaming to pay his bills, and, like, he's an actual very good player and stuff. Like, I'm just some kind of hillbilly. Alright, well, adding in the deck tech's actually a lot of value from somebody as good as him. Yeah, the deck tech's a real value from somebody of his play skill. The deck tech from somebody like me would just be like, I don't like this card, you bad. And then I would be wrong. Never didn't have it. Just never didn't have it. Alright, I generally like bringing in this stuff versus them. I love this card. I love this card. The number of... Yeah, like I said, the deck tech with it, like, I'm sure that he actually puts effort into his deck techs and, like, real thought and stuff, you know? Like, the dude's a smart dude. Whether you want any of these cards is all depends on what type of list you think they're playing. I have almost all of my teeth. Don't hold me down. I have almost all of my teeth. I don't think we want these for sure. Probably don't want Essence Scatters. However, Essence Scatters can be good if they're bringing in anything similar to what we're bringing in. I think we're going to dump most of the Wraths as well. I think I'm going to get rid of most of the Essence Scatters. Like, I just don't really trust that he's bringing in enough creatures to make them worth it. Kinda want this Ixalan's Binding too. Oh, I'm gonna hate not having these Essence Scatters later, ain't I? It's kind of hard to sideboard versus them when like they can sideboard and build their deck in so many different manners, and then like because you're reactive with your sideboard or with our sideboard of approach, we're trying to be as reactive as possible, and we need to know what we're reacting to. So, like, if he has just a bunch of Gear Hulks and stuff, like, you need the Essence Scatters back. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm just not getting to it very well. Don't care if he counterspells this. We have another. It is our best card in the match, in my opinion, but more than worth the risk. He's got one as well. Straight to the graveyard you go, homie. Yeah, that's one of the things that draws me to decks like this. They're just so configurable. Kinda don't want to get rid of that Censor, because I think my Censor is worth more than a Glimmer. Straight to the hate graveyard you go as well. I'm gonna play this one. Yeah, definitely when you're streaming, they take a little bit longer. Untap 2 Fog? I'm into Untap 2 Fog. I don't want to cast the cast out right now because I'm too afraid that if I do, he's just going to cast a fairy. But I will throw the cast out at his search at end of turn regardless. Yes, it does still count as casting. So for the first one does not have to resolve, the second one does. And we don't care if he has like a cast out in response. Yeah. Lyra? Don't think we want that. Oh, hi, Censor. Censored. I do think the fairy makes me want to revisit Ban Approach. That's absolutely fine. I normally wouldn't counterspell these anyway. I was only willing to counterspell because our counterspell's so bad as Censor. Like, assuming this was a negate, like I would have never counterspelled this with a negate. I just don't think it's worth it. And I'm going to cast this, and I'm going to cycle something this turn as well, because it lets us guaranteed flip to search for Azcanta. If he negates this, I consider that a win. Alright, so we can flip to search for Azcanta if we choose to, and we can do it a number of ways. I think we're going to take the draw step, because the draw step's the only way to cast search for Azcanta, or sorry, approach. If we like, yeah, that can go to the graveyard. Actually, I would rather have that, wouldn't I? Yeah, I would just rather have that. Yeah, well, that's fine. If we were casting a Glimmer, we wouldn't have been using the search for Azcanta anyway. Oh yeah, I should probably tell people to watch me that I stream a lot. So, you know, JJ knows. Bottom of library, top of library, I think? Let me go ahead and get rid of that. They might only have one or two approaches in the entire deck. Welcome back, Boot. We'll have to start drawing some counter spells now, though. Thank you, deck. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tick it up. Untap this and this. Yeah, you can finish a league with a red real quick. Esther Ong to Fairy. Think it's worth trying to counterspell. Though that may not be accurate at all. Hey Max, what's up, man? I've liked the format okay. I've not experienced a lot of it yet. Budgetary reasons, but it's been pretty fun so far. I've definitely not been upset about it. So with this Teferi, keep in mind, everybody, that you have to untap 2 lands. Like, you don't have the option. So we're going to go into our end step, then we're going to cycle, and then with that trigger on the stack, we are going to untap these 2 lands. Because you cannot untap an already tapped land. Something that like a lot of people don't know. Kind of a little trick you can do. Or not necessarily a trick. I mean, something that people can mess up. Glyph Keeper, that's interesting, but we do have a couple rafts in our deck, so hey, here's that Essence Scatter that we usually like. We could also take the approach and just try to win. We've not already resolved an approach, have we? Yeah, since we've not already resolved an approach, I'm just going to take the Essence Scatter. If you don't have anything untapped, you have to tap your lands, or untap your opponents. Cool, we can disallow that trigger now if we want. We still have to be careful about opponent because keep in mind that opponent can win right now pretty easily. So I think we're just going to start by casting this search. Opponent doesn't know what that card is. Opponent's already resolved one approach, so we have to keep an eye out on that while we try to beat the Glyph Keeper and things as well. But we're getting closer and closer to ultimating this, and I hear that in the funny business they call that really nice. Alright. Well. Not sure what they're waiting on, but I'm not going to cast this Glimmer here. I don't want to give them the opportunity to butcher that card. Do I want to put that in my graveyard? I don't really want to put that in my graveyard, even though I really wanted a land. For the single part that when we ultimate this, we can go just crazy if we keep the Illumination and the Hieroglyph, which is kind of what I've been trying to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they would have enough for a negate. I'm not going to fight over this very hard, because they could just be trying to bait counterspells out of us. Syncopate for 3. Probably paying that, since we can untap 2 lands anyway. He could be representing, hoping to draw approach and use a negate, and that would suck, but he also has to hit the land for that to happen. And opponent concedes the game because next turn we're going to start killing his lands. So like next turn, we were immediately going to ultimate this, play both of these, and exile 4 of his lands. And that's pretty strong. So we literally just won a game with Teferi. And that's what I was saying earlier in the write-up when I was talking about the deck. That I think there's a chance that we don't even need approach to win these matches anymore. There's a chance that we can just like play a Gearhulk blue-white control deck without having to play approach now. Or like an Esper control deck and not having to play approach so far. Yeah, that's what I'm doing as well, Max. But yeah, I think there's a good chance that there's like some Esper build or approach build, or sorry, blue-white build, or maybe even like Jeskai build that doesn't run approaches. It's just classic control. But I've not played enough of the format to do that, so like I'm starting off with just classic approach, and then like I'll tune and do things from here, from that, you know. And we'll definitely try some of those lists at some point. This was just a starting point. By the way, hey Ninja, thank you for the follow. Highly appreciate it. We'll keep this hand. It's not the type of hand that people write ballads about, but it's a very keepable hand. Some kind of mirror again, probably. Guess we're just going to play the land. Yeah, approach is still good in a lot of game ones. It's not great in sideboards is the problem. So like maybe we even build a build where we play approach in the main deck, expecting to sideboard it out. I mean, there's a lot of things we can try. Dominaria was a pretty good set, and I think it actually shakes some things up. So this might not be a mirror. This could just be a GPG deck, a Drakehaven deck, anything. But I run 2 and 2 because I'm not actually sure which is better. I have a feeling that Gideon's approach is actually better than Silhouette, but I'm not confident enough in myself to make that assessment. Because, like, Silhouette's not good versus Scarab Gods in the late game. It's not good versus, like, a Beaumont Courier that's already got a couple of counters on it, and then they just don't attack with it and wait. It's not good for some of the Vigilance threats, which do exist in this format. It's not good for a Glint Sleeve Siphoner that comes down later in the game and, like, opponent just doesn't have to attack with it. But, like, it's still a good card, so I'm not 100% sure. So right now I'm just trying 2 of 2. Like this is version 1 of the deck, and I'm just doing a lot of testing with this first version. Unfortunately, I can't cycle this cast out right now because if I cycle this cast out and he just untaps and plays Teferi, we're in really bad shape. So that's a problem. We've drawn a lot of dead cards in this match, but he's going to be drawing a lot as well. Todd Stevens streamed today. He played against Blue Red Control, Gifted Lotus, and WinCon Ribbons. Did he play Primal Amulet? Yeah, Silhouette is better versus red-green monsters, though most of the monsters you kill, Gideon's approach also kills. And Silhouette is an enchantment, so their main deck Thrashing Brontodons are like a real issue. I don't care if he counterspells this. I just want to cast it while I can. I do have an RPTQ coming up. I think it's like June 8th through 9th or something. I'm bad at dates. I have no idea. It's a team RPTQ though. I really like Reproach. I think Approach didn't get played before because Blessed Alliance was just better, but I think Gideon's Reproach is a real card. We'll look at it, but keep in mind that I don't know what all the cards do, so it's really hard for me to evaluate any deck or truly actually build a deck even when I've not read all of the spoiler, which I am oh god, that card's sweet. I had a let me see if I can get a big enough picture. I'll pull this over so anybody who wants to see it can look at it. Whirler of Inventions, Gilded Lotus, Paradoxical Outcome. I saw a Paradoxical Outcome list 5.0, and if I like it. I like it. What was the... Let me see if I can do this off stream because I don't know what might pop up and what you guys might see. No, that's not it. That's not it. Where the heck is it? I saw one. No. No. Yes. I found it. Let me delete all this stuff off the other screen now. I saw this list at 5.0 to daily. It's certainly a deck I want to try. I don't know what his Mox Emeralds are really doing. He's only got these 2 Brawls, but or Mox Ambers, but like maybe they're just good enough to get triggers. I'm not exactly sure, but this is a deck that I want to try. He's only got 1 Efferflux Reservoir too, which I thought was odd because there's no Whirler of Inventions. I definitely like Whirler of Invention in that deck, but that 5.0'd, so you could definitely be onto something. They've updated them, Max. They have Dominaria in them now. Let me scroll up. Yeah, it is, but I don't know if it's that good, what I was saying. Like, it's clearly good. I just didn't know if it's that good. Yeah, we get to cast the first approach, which was really lucky that our opponent had to come into play tap land. By the way, I would like to point out that on stream 1,000 times I've complained about people playing extra come into play tap lands, and this is a prime example of why you don't want to play extra come into play tap lands. Like, you barely want to play the farmlands, so you don't want to up this count to like 6 or 8 of these spells, which is why I'm not playing the one that can be sacked for 2 cards. Like, that card's just not good enough because there's too many situations where you need to cast your Approach on 7, or you need to cast your Fumigate on 5, or you need to cast your Glimmer on 4. And with each one of those situations that occur, you increase your odds more and more of not being able to play Approach. And that's just inexcusable. Or, sorry, not being able to play your spell. So opponent still doesn't have Approach, which is interesting to me. Makes me feel like maybe he's just not playing Approach. I'm not casting Teferi into open mana, though. Yeah, but if you draw it towards the end, you don't... Maybe you don't always have the spells, or maybe I'm just wrong. I don't like Scavenging Grounds in those decks either, but that's more of an opinion piece than like a fact or anything. The fact that he's not discarding these spells just makes me think his hand's absolutely loaded. See if we can get a counterspell with this cast out. Unknown Shores, that's how we played 5-color mono red. By 5-color mono red, it was technically red-black, I guess. I'm a really bad player. I've just been zoned out talking and didn't count. So what turn was it that we cast Approach? Cast Approach on turn 7. We're currently on turn 10. So that means we've drawn 3 cards, so it's 4 cards down. Need to pay attention to that. Like, that's actually relevant. Because, for example, like, he's got to reveal it now. What are we looking at here? Huh. It's not loading. Am I being hacked? The page just isn't loading for me. I can't even see it. It's not even trying to load. Oh god, everything died. Come back. I don't know why the page isn't loading for me. I have really bad internet. I got to put everything back. My bad, everyone. Think everything's back. I think I can see again. Yes, I can see clearly again. I don't think I just want to play that. But maybe it's okay too. Maybe it's better to cast it later in the game when he's not thinking about it, though. It's not your fault, Alien. I just have really bad internet. I tried to open it. So I took kind of too long of a pause there, so I think opponent kind of... The jig's up, opponent knows we have Approach. Probably. I'd like to find a draw too. Alright, that's not too bad. We're like 1 land away from being able to play it with an Approach. We know our Approach is 2 cards down. I'm just going to remember it. Don't care about that. We are getting to the danger zone, though. He's got 3 mana untapped here, which is like a problem. Untap land, please? That's not an untap land. I wonder if it's okay just to play Teferi now. I assume this doesn't resolve. Yeah, so he's going to mill me. We're fine with that. He's making sure he gets this approach off the top of our deck that he knows he put there. And then he's going to counterspell this, and we're fine with that. We're going to try to save our counterspell to save the approach in our hand. Because if he like untaps and flips this and plays his own approach, we win. Silhouette dropped so much in price. If he disallows this Field of Ruin, that's a win as well. Alright, well, everything occurred as we wanted it to. So this is kind of how we drew it up. If he's got double negate or something in his main deck, sure. But if he doesn't, we assume he just has disallow. Could have double negate though, you never know. So this is kind of what we've been playing towards. If he's got Spell Pierce, I might punch myself. Because, nah, I shouldn't make jokes about self-harming. That's just going too long. Yeah, a lot of cool 5-0 decks too. Some of them before Dominaria were cards and some of them after. Alright, so I have no idea how our opponent's going to sideboard. So we're kind of in the same situation that we were last game. Where I'm going to bring in roughly the same cards and just hope that they line up well with his plan. Though we have no idea how to know whether they'll be lining up well with his plan. This opponent's playing Commit in Memory. And when I see Commit in Memory, I automatically assume that that means that they're also playing Torrential Gearhulk. Because it's the card that makes the most sense with Torrential Gearhulk in my opinion. So I'm probably going to leave at least 2 Essence Scatters this game as a gambit. But I still, if I'm leaving 2 Essence Scatters, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to take out. There's a good chance I'm just supposed to take out a Censor, but we're kind of running a low land count. There's only 25 lands in this deck, which I'm pretty sure is just solidly wrong, that I'm not willing to take out the Censor. And if he confirms the opinion and we actually see a bunch of creatures, we'll bring in more Essence Scatters and like try to play to a longer game. We're not 3-0, JJ. That was just game 1. Yes, it was a really long game, but it was still just game 1. Though, in fairness, we do generally run pretty well in approach mirrors. Now, we just played back-to-back approach decks. That's 2 rounds in a row versus approach, so they kind of run together. Alright, don't play Search for Azcanta. Alright, step 1 complete. Opponent didn't play Search for Azcanta. And we'll go ahead and play the island, even though it kind of sucks. Thank you very much. John C. Reilly. I don't think I've heard that one before. I've heard a lot of Matthew McConaughey, which I don't hear, but I've heard a lot of Hank Hill, which I do hear. I can hear Hank Hill when I talk. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people say Hank Hill. John C. Reilly. I might have heard that one once before. John C. Reilly is like my favorite character actor in the business. That dude is an absolute genius at what he does. Murph, we're playing Censors because we're only playing 25 lands, which is probably pretty idiotic. I should definitely be playing 26 or 27 lands. I just could not think of another cut. And like he can do just wonderful comedies, but on top of that, like movies like Boogie Nights and stuff like that are just so well acted. Spoiler opponent, we drew a Glacial Fortress. I like how I just sat back and I never cycle my sensor. Not until I'm getting ready to miss a land drop. Yeah, I don't have the ops today. The dude is brilliant. So he's 7 and he didn't play it. Alright, if he counterspells this, I don't care. I put an actual low value on this Glimmer Genius and a high value on this. Well, alright, never mind. We'll just stop talking about things like that since they didn't happen. Alright, well there's an approach, so I know what we're doing next turn. We're also going to cycle our sensor at this point, since we plan on tapping out roughly most of the rest of the game. It's an argument to actually hold that sensor because it gets us back to this approach, but with both of these decks running things like Field of Runes and Rivulets, like I'm not worried about getting back to the approach quickly. Like I just don't think that's something that happens real often. And also, like there's a good chance that like this first approach just gets syncopated or something, or counterspelled. Shake and bake. New cards have felt pretty good. Teferi has felt insanely strong. What decks have you been experimenting around with, Dave? I've been on a weird sleep schedule, so I've not saw very many morning streams recently. But yeah, like, these are all reasons. Wait, you got rid of my Rivulet? Are we playing a game where we're going to try to mill each other? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Kind of want to play my own Teferi. Kind of want to play my own Teferi. Now protect it with a negate, and then I'll bounce his Teferi if it resolves. Teferi mirrors already entertain me. Get out of here, Teferi. Yeah, I saw that you posted that you thought you'd broke Monument, that you were going to withhold the list until you were sure that you tried so many times. It's definitely ripe for being broken. I will try to protect... Oh, that's a Dawnbringer. I was going to say I would try to protect this with a negate if that's what he goes for. That is not what he went for. Okay, I'm fine with cycling this. If he responds with like a cast out or something on Teferi, it's not that bad for us in this spot. We're currently 2-0 and up a game, RJ. So we'll start with this. We'll go to our end step and then cast out this. So we'll tap those. Then we'll untap those. Then we'll tap those again. And then we'll try to cast out this while leaving up all of our counter spells. I'm glad that he brought in Lyra as well, though. Price unknown shore. Teferi mirrors are already fun. Like, I'm having a ball. I couldn't be having more fun. Well, I guess that's not remotely true. I could definitely be having more fun. I could be playing Jace mirrors. bring back Jace. I think we have to worry about millstoning ourselves because opponents clearly trying to millstone us. So I think I'm actually just not going to cycle the sensor. Always keep in mind that you can't untap an untap permanent, so it's always just better to float the mana. Not sure what opponent's plan here is. Well, we brought that card in for a reason. Let's use it. We do have our own Lyras and stuff. Like, we can just win the game, too. They tanked. I only paid about 8 ticks for them today or something. I don't feel like I need more cards right now, so I don't want to make it easier for him to reveal it, so I'm just not going to cycle these sensors. Which feels kind of weird, but... so we have 5, 8, and 9 mana. So we can play 1 approach and 1 negate. That's, or like 1 approach and 1 thing. That's not good enough. We can do better. Also, saving these sensors and stuff like that are good because whenever we do Ultimate to Teferi, we can just cycle them all and just like destroy a bunch of lands at one time. Sure. If the game's over, or if the turn's over, we'll discard the binding. If it's not, we'll consider playing a card. We could disallow that, but I don't think I care if he's sacrificing a land. That's 2 cards. Do I care? I think I'm far enough ahead that I don't care. Yeah, Seal Away is devastatingly down in price now. Need an opponent to tap mana on some turn that isn't for like a Gear Hulk. We do have to discard, but we don't have to discard one of our key counter spells. Like, I'm trying kind of just trying to ramp up here for a Teferi win more than I'm worrying about an approach win. I'm actually willing to discard this land too, I think. Just not going to bother to float this man and do this stuff now. If he casts a spell, I'll just untap 2 of my lands then. If he doesn't untap a spell, then we don't care, I guess. He's going to Glimmer in response. We're fine with that as well. So we still have 2 hard counter spells. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to negate this. He can't really fight a counterspell war here, because if he does, he's just going to die. Like, we're just going to untap and approach with disallow backup if he counterspells. And we'll probably counterspell back, too. Wait, what says no-land permanent? Apparently I'm missing something. So he's got potentially 2 counterspells still, which means there's no reason for us to until we can play 2 counterspells. So how much mana do we have? 7. We can only play 1 counterspell. Just keep fighting the good fight. Teferi basically wins in 3 turns. Now we have a Search for Azcanta as well. Like, I'm in no rush. He's not even cast a first approach yet. Like, I'm playing super cautious right now, but like, he's not even cast the first approach yet. Just keep developing our lands, waiting to win. That's Nezahal, which can't be countered, which is an issue. can, however, be Teferi'd. No. Well, anyway, so this is kind of the turn we've been waiting for this whole game. So we're going to have enough mana to approach and play both of our things. Just kind of the turn we've been waiting on almost the whole game. We're also going to do this. Just go ahead and get rid of that thing, so before we cast our free spells, we don't want him to draw 3 cards. And boom. Oh, he just didn't have a counterspell. That's fine. Alright, well, we played the entire game around him having multiple counterspells, and he didn't have the first one. But Teferi Wars, the cool thing about Teferi Wars is, like, the first Teferi doesn't normally win the game. The second Teferi coming down and bouncing is what wins the game. That I don't know, Murph. The format's just way too early, but I think we're playing these approach mirrors well. Like, when our opponent cast a Field of Runes super early on Rivula, it made me feel like we were playing different games, which was kind of weird to me. I apologize if I'm not keeping up with chat particularly well. There's like 60 people in here right now, and I'm not very bright. And this deck's not the easiest deck to play, especially in mirrors. So like, hey, Hometown Vapor and Alien of the Land, thank you guys for follows as well. And thank you, JJ, for the 9-month resub. I don't remember if I even said it earlier. Hey, Shaolin, what's up? Yeah, this card's been impressive. Like, we've literally already won 2 games because of this card. Say your mirror thing again? I was just saying that the mirrors are kind of difficult to play, and I was apologizing if I wasn't keeping up with chat very well. Yeah, you can Pune to Wine. It's like really sweet. I feel like I might just try a blue-white Planeswalker deck that has like Gideon's, Dovin's, Teferis, and Oath of Teferi. But that might be more cute than good. But I definitely want to try it. Anyway, we've locked up a pity chest. Woo! My stomach pains are coming back though. That's unfortunate. Oh, the Teferi mirror? I don't know what I said. I was saying like the Teferi mirrors were kind of Oh, I was saying that it's kind of cool in the Teferi mirror that like usually when you're playing a mirror match, like the first Planeswalker that resolves can win the game. Because there's not that many good answers to a Planeswalker and you're being reactive and stuff like that already. Like say me and you were playing a Jace the Mind Sculptor mirror, right? And I slam Jace and get value out of it. Even if you have an answer for it, you wasted your entire turn typically to answer it. But in the Teferi mirrors, when I slam my answer for it in Teferi, not only did I deal with your Teferi, I put a threat on the board that you have to deal with yourself. So like it's kind of an interesting dynamic that it's not necessarily the first Teferi that wins the game. Like often it can be the second Teferi that wins the game. Was what I was trying to explain. Like that's not always typical when it comes to like Planeswalker mirrors. Alright, well this is obviously one of the best cards in Standard versus us for a reason, and it's one of the reasons that I'm attempting to try getting his approach into the seal away, because if they draw those mid-game, they don't always have to attack with them. I consider the best 2 cards in Standard versus approach to be Glintstave Siphoner and Beaumont Courier. People would argue that Lost Legacy is better than either of those 2 cards versus you, but like, there's just a number of ways you can beat Lost Legacy decks. Like, we have 4 different creatures in our sideboard, for example. But yeah, Murph, I was basically trying to say what you just said, that second Teferi, best Teferi. Well, second Resolve Teferi. So he's already got value off of his card. Hopefully he doesn't get another energy this turn. Well, that's another energy this turn. We could just play Baffling End, but Baffling End has the downside that it's not good versus like Rekindling Phoenixes and Glorybringers and things of that nature. and that it's not good versus like a combat celebrant or something coming back from a GPG attacking you. And if they kill it, they get a 3/3 back. Like, sometimes that's really bad, whereas like in the mid-game, if they're like using a Thrashing Brontodon to kill a Baffling End, that they could just be giving up the same amount of value that they got. You know. Or they could upgrade a creature in some situations. I don't know. I've got a feeling that Gideon's Reproach is... Gideon's Approach doesn't work if they're not attacking, but it's good versus the other creatures in the deck's kind of what I was trying to say, I guess. I'm just saying it very poorly. And it not being able to be Thrashing Brontodon or something, I think is a real thing, but I'm not sure if it's a real thing. Really? What? I guess they're getting a blue mana? Is it bad that I just want to disallow this? I think if their mana's that bad, I just want to disallow this. Get got, pal. If your mana's that annoying, or if your mana's that bad, get got. I feel like Gideon's Approach is just going to be better, but I don't know. Alright, you get out of here before he gets to blue mana. No more cards for you, friendo. It sucks that I'm giving him a land after I just disallowed to stop a land, but I think overall it's probably worth it. Alright, well, things could be going better. Yeah, it's kind of been stalled on lands, so like maybe the Censor will be good enough, or maybe we'll draw an Essence Scatter here. Or maybe he's just going to untap and Veraska this and we're going to be sad. Who knows? I do want to go ahead and get it on the table while we can, though. Exile does matter. Alright, if he attacks Teferi, that's actually kind of good for us. Them being able to bring, or them being able to kill Silhouette matters too, though, so. Just a random 5-drop, please. Thank you. Interesting. I guess we easily start with this part. I kind of want to look for another land. It's one of the easiest ways for us to lose this match is if we just don't hit the land. Alright. Land acquired. Go Teferi, keep doing the nasty, Teferi. Still have a cast out now. Teferi's been great. Somebody argued with me that Teferi wasn't going to be a good Magic card. It kind of reads poorly, but it does impressive things. I don't think we care about this. I think I'm just willing to cast Settled Wreckage. Some people play standing up. I know MJ used to use a standing desk because it helped him, helped us back and stuff like that. To play around Veraska's Contempt or not? No. Alright, never mind. He's not giving us the option. Ah. Well, we can still hit our land. One time. One time. Daddy. Sick. And we still get to protect Teferi. How ridiculous has Teferi been? Jace Architect Default was really good too, and people just did not think it was good, but it was so insane in that format. So we know our bro is currently 7 cards down. We know we're going to seal away one of these this turn. Have options for days. No. You leave the Teferi brother alone. Alright. Goodbye, Teferi. He's probably had enough of you. And he's going to tap out, so we win. Oh, we really win. Unless he added, what you call it to the main deck. Spell Pierce. Thank you, Guardian. we really win. So this is a hard match, and this is a match that I typically bring in basically most of our sideboard. Sometimes I bring in Fumigate based upon how I feel like they're going to sideboard, but I don't always bring it in. But these are the cards that are arguable to bring in this match. The problem with sideboarding in this match is, and it released at over 40, Murph. It was like $43 or something when my friend opened one in a sealed pool. The problem I was going to say in this match is we have less cards we want to take out now than we used to take out. Used to, we would take out the Ops, the Sensors, the Effer Meltdowns and stuff like that, so we may not be able to bring in the full sideboard. You probably could. But we're going to take out the Sensors on the draw. We're definitely going to bring in the Essence Scatter. We're definitely going to bring in the Search for Azcanta, and we're definitely going to bring in these. I'm actually going to cut one Settle and bring in it over to Fumigate, and then that leaves the Negates. Negates aren't particularly great in this match, but they are good enough, I think, that I want at least a couple copies. And I'm probably going to shave at least one more Settle for them, and I'm not sure what the other card is. Might just bring the 4th one in and just say screw this, and leave 4 Wraths in. What would we cut if we're going to do it like this? Maybe we don't bring the Essence Scatter in anymore? I don't know, but I think I'm going to have to take a quick AFK, and I'm not happy about it. Because nature is a calling, my friends. And that would be terrible for the YouTube video since I can't edit it. It's quite a bit cheaper if you think about it, but it's not always cheaper. It is expensive though. I think we'll keep this hand, even though this hand's on the weak side. And unfortunately, after I take my draw step, I do think I'm going to have to go AFK for like 3 to 5 minutes, which is kind of tilting. Now we have 2 lands, and we have 25 lands and a lot of things that we can draw to like make these Sealways and stuff. Wow, okay. Well, that one's a good one. Definitely to the graveyard. Alright, well, we didn't hit a land, so this match is going to be done quick. Well, this game's going to be done quick. Down $3 today in paper? That's unfortunate. I really just want to concede this game so I can go to the restroom. That's a good draw. No, we will keep you, friendo. No negate would be a nice start. Telling our opponent and apologizing that I'm going to have to go AFK. And I apologize to you two, stream. And I'm back. Sorry about that extra minute or so. I decided to go get me a drink of water as well. Hate doing that during a stream. So I missed a lot of chat. Lost 15 viewers too, though. I can't blame people. Let's see. Yes, yesterday I was. Yeah, red's always going to be a hard problem. I'm hoping the addition of this card might fix the red match a little bit. Like, I think this card's very good. But maybe I'm overrating it. Anyway, I have 12 minutes to finish this game and next game because I took like a pretty large restroom break, so I guess we will attempt to finish up. I would rather use a silhouette on this than this, is why I didn't use it end of turn or anything. A little out of breath because I ran to get my water. Gonti's a card. I still think I want to use the silhouette on this. Because if I do fumigate, I don't want him to be able to get it back later. Definitely in the graveyard, I think. I just need lands. Rip, that's not a land. Just want lands. Also not a land. Alright. So, this is an issue. We knew this would be a problem, but we didn't think that 17 cards deep it would still be a problem. It's kind of interesting. An opponent didn't bother to draw a card EOT, did they? Didn't they have 2 mana up? I think red's actually going to be played a lot. The Goblin Chain Whirler is real. And like red was already a pretty real deck. What is this? 5 mana, all black. Sure, they probably have a negate or something, but I mean, again, we can only do what we can only do in a manner like this. Will you kill me? I'm in a gate. Yeah, the red decks are bad versus mono green, that's true. But they might find a way to beat them. Hey, Freedmania and Charlie Main, thank you both for the follows. They may find a way to beat them. So this card's going to be difficult to beat now. That has to go to the graveyard. We're just a year behind. Alright, well, unfortunately, this doesn't do a whole lot, but it's better than not casting a spell at all right now. We do get to flip this next turn. Another Gonti. So they only have 3 cards in hand, but they have 2 cards under my Gonti that can be anything. Anything that we sideboarded in. They could technically have 2 of our approaches right now. There's a Scarab, which is a problem. We're just going to cast Fumigate again. Hopefully they're not Censor. I know he gets the Scarab God back, but we have to do what we have to do, right? I've gone about 50-50 with it, but it's a pretty hard match. Like, they can actually beat you. If you miss on Settle, they can beat you before turn 5 kind of frequently. And between Carnage Tyrants and Lifecrafters, Bestiaries, and stuff out of the sideboard, they do get some access to playing a lone game, and Heroic Intervention's still really good versus Fumigate itself. Alright, well, we're getting further and further down this rabbit hole, but now a Cast Out would be good, and Ixalan's Binding would be good. That is none of those things, and that is bad. What is the best cards versus them? Oh, I'm talking about from the mono green side. Like, I was streaming mono green. Mono green is a deck that I've streamed a few times. This is the first time I've ever streamed Approach. I guess you get champion back. There's not a lot I can really do about things like that. I have to have my disallow to try to resolve a settle, which may never even happen because he may not attack with the Scarab God. If he doesn't attack with the Scarab God, I have to try to Fumigate again. Alright. I mean, it's okay versus mono green, but it's really bad versus everything else in the format. Alright, I guess that one resolves. Yeah, he's got 2 cards under this as well. Sorry. Says he's got 3 cards. I don't remember him getting the 3rd card. Actively don't know where the 3rd card came from. There's an approach. Approach doesn't let us win, but it's better than other things. 5, 9, 10, 11. So approach does nothing. Teferi does nothing. So there's nothing I can draw that does anything here. Alright. We'll just go ahead and go on to the next game. That's where he got 2 of them. Where'd he get the 3rd one? Did he cast? He just played it and bought it back, right? Like, where's the 3rd one at? I thought he just played this and bought it back one time. But this says he has 3 cards, so I didn't remember the 3rd card. I remembered the one in the Liliana. But, you know, it's easy to forget things when you walk away mid-game. Yeah, it's easy to forget things when you walk away mid-game. Alright, so he's got Doomfalls, he's got Duresses, he's got Bloodfast. He's just got everything we expected him to have. Oh, he got it back twice? Okay, sure. I just missed him getting it back the second time. I wasn't, like I said, easy to mess up something when you walk away mid-game and take a 10-minute crap. I don't want to cut both of these settles on the draw. Actually, actively think Fumigate's better in this match anyway. I don't really want to give them lands. Don't want to let them get Nezaha or anything either, and they have enough Death Touchers. The RPTQ? I'll be there. Don't know what I'll be playing, but I'll be there. So this hand's pretty good, but it peters out really quick. Like, without drawing a search or a draw two, we just run out of gas really fast. Especially if they have like a turn 1 duress. Nice. Who's your friend? I wonder if I know them. Kind of interesting. I think because we drew the Glimmer, we're gonna go ahead and cycle that. Oh, Bill Finley. Yeah, I do not know him. Imagine that in this large world. Boom. I have another counter spell. I think there's a few people in chat that are all going to be there. That's an interesting one. Alright, I don't want that to resolve, but is it good enough to use a disallow on? I don't think so. I think I would rather just try to resolve the Glimmer. Find a Silhouette or something for that. He's got too many higher impact spells. Rankings? I don't know what you mean by rankings. Whoa. Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna play this. Did I? Oh, the top 10. Oh. Interesting. It's played a lot then. There's some on the Wizards site. I don't exactly know where to find them. It doesn't do an ELO system though. It does like matches played lifetime type thing. Kind of want this card. Odds are, whatever he plays, I'm going to be able to use either the Essence Scatter or the Cast Out on. Since he doesn't have the energy, I'm not going to worry about cast outing that this turn. Oh, I meant to say it the other way around. Man, this kind of sucks. So he's going to get to resolve something useful this turn. I guess I don't give him the option. I just play this. Maybe he spins a counterspell on it. Alright, you got me, friendo. But that does let us flip to Search for Azcanta, and we get to kill the Field of Runes, so like, that's not that bad. It's obviously not good. Kinda want to use it on this now. That's kind of a good draw. I think he's going to be spending the majority of his mana next turn, so I kind of want to hold the Glimmer here. Alex, if your success in the PPTQs, you have to be fairly high in your state. I don't know how many pros live in your state, but I guess there's local Grand Prix and stuff there as well. Yeah, it doesn't go up and down. It's not an ELO system. There used to be an ELO system, but like people abused it to get free ratings and stuff, so they kind of like took it away. I'm kind of disappointed that they did, because I thought it was really, really cool with the old system. Yeah, that's going to resolve. Unfortunately. He's probably going to buy back Gonti here. I guess I don't want either of these. 4 lands on top of my library, and I played that. He could have just bricked him off, but that's a little disappointing. That's just running really bad. Alright, I guess we're going to play this one. What do we got? Nothing. Okay. So I bet he got something amazing from us while we didn't even get a playable spell from him. Go ahead and untap these 2. So we at least get to use the Search for Azcanta this turn if we choose to, though we may have to use the Essence Scatter that he knows about. Yeah, that was pretty poor luck. Still has 4 cards in hand. He's got a Champion of Wits in his graveyard. He's got a card under us. Like, opponent is massively ahead again. He's got to decide whether he's going for our face or for the Teferi. I think he can go for either of them at this point. I mean, there's a rating system online, but like it doesn't count for anything. Hey, how it doesn't show me where they're attacking before I let him get that trigger. It'll be really hard for us to keep the Teferi alive. I guess our best draw is probably Approach and then pray that he taps out again, but that doesn't seem reasonable. Just hold up counter spells at this point. Vraska's Contempt this, that's fine. It was worth 1 card. This is worth 1 card of our choosing, so this is better. I guess we're going to take this. So, Seal Away would have definitely been better in this situation. And it's probably just better overall. I'm probably wrong for not using Seal Away. I'm definitely probably wrong for not using Seal Away. There's probably more of those than Magic players in every state. You're also in a state about 1/50th the size, Local Dope. Drawn a lot of lands these last several turns. Yeah, we're on fumes here. So we keep track of where our card is. We're 7 down. I don't think we can win this game. Like I said, this is the matchup that made me quit playing Approach to begin with, and I'm not sure that it got any better. We take 6 here. Unfortunately, hit another Effer Hub, so they get another card. Another Zombro, so they kill us in 2 attacks. Alright. Well. So no, it's 6 down now. They're going to counterspell this. Almost undoubtedly. Should have tapped one of these instead of one of these. Alright, well we can't even counterspell that, so... And there's no chance that he counterspelled that card without having a negate, so we basically have to hit an Approach and a negate in our top 5 cards, which is very, very difficult to do. In fact, it's pretty close to impossible, I would say. I have a better chance of drawing like Fumigate and Negate and then like running it back. I have no idea, Local Dope. He's got a Champion of Wits. There's nothing we can do about that. So we don't even redraw to approach here. Just discarded 2 lands. That Glimmer of Genius into 4 lands was pretty brutal. Maybe he'll tap all of his lands and we'll get lucky. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a thing that's ever going to happen. Seems like there's no reason to counterspell that. Argol's Bloodfast. The fact that they don't want an Argol's Bloodfast is really telling about how far behind we are. There's a negate. So if the exact top card of our library is an approach, then I guess we have a chance. Is it enough? I'm pretty sure that's not the approach. I didn't miscount, did I? Be interesting to see if we miscounted here. Oh, he's tapping Supreme Will, so we're dead. He's got a Supreme Will and probably my negate. Why didn't he just counterspell the Supreme Will and not waste our time? Oh, it's because he didn't have it. Wow. He had the hard counterspell for our Fumigate and didn't have it for that. What? Why did he hard counterspell to Fumigate then? That just makes no sense. Just don't hard counterspell to Fumigate and save it. Just save our disallow for our Fumigate or for our approach. I guess he did the math and knew that we weren't redrawing the approach, that we had to get lucky, because this is the approach that he knew about. So we had to get incredibly unlucky there, I guess? Or we had to get incredibly lucky there. But it feels like he gave us some percentage of a chance that we had no percent to win if he just played the game out, I think. I feel like we had no percentage to win if he just played the game out. Because, like, this Argol's Bloodfast, he could have just resolved it and drawn like 1,000,000 cards. Maybe there's not another negate in this deck. Maybe that's what we have to think about. Like, maybe he doesn't have a second negate in his deck, or maybe he doesn't have another Gonti. I don't actually know. That blows my mind. Like, he cast a disallow on a Fumigate. Oh. Anyway, we got there. And this was the approach. We did not miscount. Alright, 4-0. Can version 1 of Approach get a trophy? Who knows? We'll find out as the days go. I promised if I 5-0'd I would do a second league with a different deck, didn't I? And we're past midnight, so technically it could be Tuesday's deck. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. We can still lose. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but, like, he had the disallow and he wasted it on a Fumigate. He didn't have to play that. He didn't have to counterspell to Fumigate. He could have just held. He literally could have just held, and he would have probably been fine. So he's playing a other event as well. This hand's a keep. We have lands that we can cycle, or we have cards that we can cycle to help us try to find more lands. 5-0 Dreams Alive. Did not expect to win that game. Like, I thought it was practically impossible. When he took the time to cast the Supreme Will, instead of just conceding, I just thought I was dead. Maybe he had a Spell Pierce? I'm not sure. You have to work, but you're too excited. Another Swamp deck. Been getting paired versus quite a few Swamp decks in this league. Records on your demo? Oh, because it's Sneaky Snakies. That could be this. That could be a. Oh no, it's the Sapperling deck. That deck's sweet. This deck is so cool. Oh, this guy 5-0'd of this list. I think I was going to play this list. Let us double check. I believe this guy's was a list that I had set aside to play. Maybe I didn't set it aside. I could have swore that I'm playing this guy's list. I guess I'm just wrong. He's copying it then maybe. So what can he play? Let's think about this turn for a minute. So he can play a Lord. That's fair. I was on a 2-turn clock. Like I said, maybe he just did the math and thought it was worth the risk because we had to hit. Well, we didn't even have to have the negate. We just had to find an approach. I don't like that if it's just approach. I'm thinking about slamming the search, but mostly because I don't have a land. If I had a land, I don't think I would play this search. I don't think I would play this search if I had a land. So this is not the build that 5-0'd. I remember the build that 5-0 did not have this, and I thought it was kind of odd that they didn't have it. Because they have the ability to just get the, what you call it, so easily. That's got to go to the graveyard. We need lands. Unfortunate. Don't feel like we can lose this game if we just hit lands. They probably have Lost Legacy or something in the board, though. Each other creature you control that's a fungus or sapling gets +2. That's pretty sick. Could have counterspelled that, but he didn't leave up. He didn't leave up Blossoming Defense mana, so I think it's just better to do it this way. We take the same amount of damage. Wait, he fatal pushed his thing instead of letting me silhouette? That's awkward to me. Alright, you can do it, deck. Untapped land for daddy. That's not an untapped land. Come on, deck. Think I'm going to just take 6. That way I can disallow whatever he plays. If he plays nothing, we're going to seal away at the end of his turn. I didn't want to take an additional 2 damage. And I wanted to be able to like counterspell like a Slime Foot or something if he had it. It's so weird to me that he killed this, so he's got to have some way to get them back. He's not doing that for no reason. He's doing that for a reason of some kind. 100% not doing it for no reason. Alright, we're going to cycle. And I guess we're just going to cast this too and say... so next turn, that flips our search for Azcanta. It was kind of our gambit to try to get past this. To cast a Fumigate. Do I want to put a land in the graveyard? I think I'm fine putting a land in the graveyard at this point. I know I want the land, but we're getting the land off the search for Azcanta anyway. That gives us a chance to have been able to cast a Fumigate that turn. Well, I don't know what he has, Murph. I've not saw his list. 3 Sapperling token creatures. Alright, so hopefully he doesn't draw a Lord. If he draws a Lord, we're dead. But we did miss lands for, 4 turns or whatever. Let's see what he has. Hopefully he doesn't have another one of these. Sweet. That's step one. He hit something. He hit something good. He hit something very good. So we could just bounce this and let him kill our Teferi, and I think that's worth it. I don't think there's anything he gets that kills me in one attack, really. It sucks to give up our Teferi for something so marginal, but we can counterspell it on the way back down, so like, as long as he bricks off this turn, we're in massively good shape. And even if he doesn't brick, if he gets something medium, we're in okay shape. Like, all he has to do is get something medium here and we're in okay shape. Well, that's not medium, that's very good. That's not medium, that's very good. Interesting. We know what he's casting, so... we know what he's drawing. He's drawing a Tendershoot Dryad, which needs to be counterspelled. Because he gets... let's see, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He won't get Sea's Blessing till my turn, so it doesn't increase the clock at all. I guess we just pass here. Then cast a Glimmer and then figure it out. Figure it out from there. Because he gets the Tender next turn, so we just go ahead and look for the Glimmer of this turn. Or for the Settle this turn, I guess. We don't want either of them. Well, I guess you're okay. Alright. Well, not getting there. Now we're kind of flooding out. Does that say Saproling, or does that say just... it's just Saproling. We do not die to Fumigate. But now it has to be just Settle. We would not die to Fumigate, no. Because we gain the life as Fumigate resolves. Alright, well this is a problem. He only attacks with one creature, like maybe a cast out gets there. If he just attacks with the Slimefoot, the Gideon's Reproach is good enough. And if he attacks with those, we have to look for the Settle. Unfortunate. We're close. Anyway. Hopefully we'll draw lands this game. Bring in the Settle. I think we're going to bring in these authorities too. Probably the Cessant Scatter, maybe some Negates, I'm not sure. Maybe some of these. Probably not a lot of these cards. These are just... I'm just pulling cards down that have some value. I'm going to say Search is a little slow. I'm going to say Teferi's a little slow. We 100% want these. These are the cards that may not be good enough. I don't think I want an instant or a slow one of those. I think Sensors are just worse than these. Maybe I don't want Disallow either. Disallow seems kind of slow. Let's try this. A Sunfield's a cool card. The opponent's deck's cool. I'm pretty sure if we don't miss land drops, though, we would have ran away with that game. Missing the land drops was just too bad. Maybe the Giddings approaches and the Silways actually aren't particularly good. They're good versus the Lords, and that's about it. I guess they're good enough because of the Lords. If he doesn't have an answer to this card should be very good in this match. We've not cast one tonight. I'm a little disappointed about that. Yeah, the spread from the Caracol would have been good in this match too, though. I don't think we can keep this hand. Feel like that last hand was just too slow. This hand we can keep pretty easily. We're going to leave a land on top even. I did cast it. Sorry, I've not attacked with it. You're right. I forgot about casting it because it didn't do anything. The authority of the council might not be good enough. I'm not sure. Duress. I'd rather just cycle and see if I can find the land and give him the opportunity to take my cast out. Oh god. And then I pressed F6. But I am quicker than my opponent, so I got to press F3 and still cycle. Alright, I definitely don't want a second authority. Opponent probably takes Settle. He might take Essence Scatter depending on what's in his hand, but we're down to 3 cards already. We mulliganed into a hand that doesn't function very well. And that's not a good combination of things to happen. Nope, no idea. Somebody said that he might have that black card that like puts things back in his hand or whatever, which is reasonable. Though I don't think the card's particularly playable, so I mean, maybe they're right. Still think the card's bad. Lost Legacy, don't care about Lost Legacy too much. Do not think this is a particularly good card to even sideboard in. Brought in all 3 alternate kill conditions. And now we don't have to draw some of these bad 7 drops. But like I said, we're super far behind here. We need to draw a land and some draw 2s. Looks like we're about to 4-1 this league. It's going to be very hard for us to win this game. Yeah, I didn't say you were wrong. I'm just saying like I don't think the card's good. A lot of people are running cards that could be bad. I'm running cards that could be bad. Well, that card probably wins the game. Did they sideboard into like some kind of mid-range deck, I guess? Okay. Gain about 1,000 life here. I mean, possibly. All depends on how they sideboard it. They could just draw another Lost Legacy and take Lyra, right? Like, the first one doesn't do much, but the second one's great. You could just resolve the Lord. I mean, a lot of things can go well for him at this point. Like, if we don't resolve a Lyra that he doesn't really answer, like, probably can't win. I wonder if I should have cycled that farmland. It did let us play the cat, but then again, maybe we'd been able to play the cat anyway. Who knows? I just want to draw a Glimmer personally. Tapping black and 2 colorless? That's interesting. Maybe they're just going to Deadlands the cat. Oh no, they're just going to play a Lord. That's fine. Or not a Lord, but this thing. All good spells. That I don't particularly care about. He gets the life back this turn, so like he can double block this and then gain 2 life and I take 2, but doesn't seem particularly appealing to me either. Maybe he's got a plan that I don't know about. The Deadlands is just good here, though. Well, it doesn't actually send him back to the Stone Age. Remember, he's got that Argos Bloodfast. That Bloodfast does a lot of work. Yeah, I definitely do not think we're a favorite this game. I don't think the game's just over, but I don't think we're a favorite. Looks like it's blocky time for us. Somebody thinks that I'm a favorite. Like, we only have 2 kill conditions in our deck. Unless you count our Rivulets as a kill condition. All he has to do is draw a Lost Legacy, and it becomes very hard for us to win. He's got infinitely more card advantage than we do. Hey Gio, what's up, man? I do think we would have won game 1 pretty easy though, had we just not missed our land drop for like a gazillion turns. I don't actually want either of these. I don't want this either, so I think I'm just going to pass. He can draw a lot of cards a turn, but he's only got 12 life to play with. And then he gets to start using the Arch of Araza. So he's going to be deeper into his deck at the end of next turn than we are in our deck, I think. He's at 8, though. All we got to do is draw a Lyra and be able to protect it. He can't attack through the cats. And we already have a Fumigate. We're pretty close to just casting the Fumigate. Well, we were pretty close to just casting the Fumigate. Obviously, we're much further away now. Down to 6. Down to 4. Lyra, where are you, bae? That's not helpful. That's also not helpful. Alright. Draw 2 cards, opponent. That's our out right now. Our opponent just draws 2 cards this turn. Sure. Need something. I don't even know what I would field. I'd probably field the Deadlands. What's that do? Exile a creature card from your graveyard, create a 1/1, or you can just sacrifice 2 and draw a card. Yeah, our opponent can draw every card in his deck. Confirmed. Opponent can draw every card in his deck. Regal Caracal. You are our bae. Opponent can just draw every card in his deck. There's only 26 cards left in his deck, though, so. Maybe we should have cast that Fumigate a while ago. What are you? Don't care about you. Oh, you were the Lord. I thought it was another one of these. Why the hell did I let a Lord resolve? I guess letting the Lord resolve's okay because we have Silhouette that we can play as an instant. I guess I'll block you. And you. Naturalize would be a nice blowout here, wouldn't it? Got him. Definitely not got him yet. We're just hoping. So it's just naturalize. Yeah. As expected, but worth to try, I think. Maybe it's not worth to try, because now they can just attack every turn, but... Oh, the Settle's kind of a good draw, assuming that his hand's bad. Feels like it's hard for his hand to be bad. What the hell is that? Oh, he just exiled a creature card and made a thing. Sure. You can do a lot of that. Yeah, this seems like it's going to be hard to beat. I'm not too upset about it, though. Like, I really feel like we were a massive favorite game 1, and in game 2, our draw just wasn't functionable. Our life doesn't matter a whole lot, though. Oh, I didn't realize it was a Lord, Smurf, so that was my mistake. I definitely did not realize it was a Lord. I thought it was one of those bad cards. Well, our opponent's back to 20 life. It's going to be hard for Lyra to even do it from here. Get that land, pal. Why did I just let that resolve? Just sitting here with 2 Essence Scatters, like basically waiting for Tinder Shoots. Be enough, please. If he's just got 2 Tinder Shoots, this isn't even enough. That's also a plan, Alex. Oh, nope. He left in answers for our 2 Lyras. So basically our only KO condition now is the Rivulets. So our opponent's on 20 cards left in his deck. 20 cards. Alright, I will allow that to I can't allow that to resolve. He just plays a Tinder Shoot Dryad and I lose. So we'll probably have to draw a Fumigate again. Because I assume he's going to cast a Dryad now. Yeah, there's the Dryad. We put 1 Settle on the bottom though, so we have 3 in like the top 32 cards. Maybe we'll draw 1 in time. Well, that's right on time. Right on time to save our Lyra. Hey, we waited for a good creature. Right on time to save Lyra, though. Oh yeah, things are going downhill quickly. Our opponent stopped drawing cards and stuff, too. Alright, opponent's only got 15 cards left in his library. I guess that's too good. We're like really close to dead. We basically need to draw Fumigate next turn. No, he just rebuilds way too easy. He doesn't have to worry about it. Well, we didn't expect to lose the 5-0 Dream when we got paired versus the Sapperling deck. Opponent's down to 14 cards. Draw Fumigate. Like, maybe we can stall the game out that long? Like, draw Fumigate, draw Rivulet, maybe we have enough? Like, those things can actually win the game if we get it. We basically have to get it this turn, though. I'll pause and act like I have a settle, even though I think he saw the Essence Scatter. I gotta gain 2 life. They're out. You can do it, Settle. Or Fumigate. Got our opponent on a 13-turn clock. Unfortunately, I think our opponent kills us this turn. I haven't done the math, but I feel like we're probably just dead. What's that? 20, 40. Yeah, we're just dead. 44. Yeah, he can deal 44 damage to us this turn. And we're at 38. We're definitely going to counterspell that one. No, I think this game he just beat us. I think we had a little unfortunate draws last game, but this game he just stone beat us. Yep, that's 64 damage. Wait, what? Mill for information? Sure, we'll mill for information. We'll look at our opponent's graveyard deck. I should have said Sapperlings. There's another Lost Legacy. So he's going to share the list with us so we don't have to bother. So I'll just wait. He has the priority, not me. Why is he letting me just kill me? Opponent has the priority. Kill me, opponent. What's the 7-drop? I don't see a 7-drop. I'm not gonna be on Milhelm. His deck's sweet. Why would I be on Milhelm? Up 8 from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a Vraska's Contempt. That is not a 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Opponent's deck was sweet. JJ's upset that we lost. I'm just happy that we lost to something cool. Boom. I've hit F6. I'll concede before I let him accidentally time out. Like, I don't want to win that way. Oh well. We almost got a trophy with our first approach try. Almost got a trophy. Let's see what changes we'd make. Probably don't want the Nezahal anymore. I shaved one before this league, but I'm just not sure I want it. I think that the Teferi gives us better chances versus those decks anyway. That creature that takes you to half your life. Oh, the black thing. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but like the big 6/6 for 8 mana. I know what you're talking about, where you can like sack some bros. The deck felt pretty good, but I think we just ran really well. I mean, we got paired versus a bunch of like blue-white mirrors, and blue-white mirrors are just kind of somewhere I've always excelled, so. Teferi was great, Geo. It won multiple games. Like, Teferi was just great. can't understate how good this card was. It made the blue-white matches like entirely different, and the art sweet. So. Could possibly run a third Fumigate. We have the third in the sideboard right now in the full 4 settles. I like running 6 Wrath effects, but the reason I'm trying Settle is because I think playing Settle on 4 and then untapping and playing Teferi on 5 was just exceedingly powerful, and it was something that I wanted to try. But I'm not convinced that 4 and 2 is correct. It could be 3 and 3. But just Settle into Teferi seems absolutely insane. We possibly could Local Dope. We might try something like that later. Oh, you want the full 7 with the 8th in the side? No, wow. You're definitely afraid of dudes. I kind of want more Regal Caracals and Dawnbringers. How many opponents cast Lost? 2 opponents cast Lost Legacy versus us today? 3 opponents cast Lost Legacy versus us today? Is that right? Around 1 opponent cast Lost Legacy. Yeah, so 3 of our 5 opponents cast Lost Legacy. So we might need a better, reliable way to win. I don't know. Let's see. Reggie. It's pretty darn good. Also, let's just do some small updates to the deck. First of all, let's just go ahead and call this V3. I think a lot of people in chat made some pretty good points, and I think Gideon's Reproach is just worse than Silhouette. I think that's where I want to start. I still think I need another land, but I'm not exactly sure what to cut for it. I don't think I want this Nezaha on the sideboard anymore. Actually, just go 2 and 2. She did die both times that I played her really, really bad. You're not wrong, friend. Teferi plus Lucas God sounds kind of sweet too. I think if I was going to run back another league, I would just run it back like this. Yeah, but the 2 cats aren't winning the game, right? I want my sideboard slot to be able to win the game, not be marginally better versus red. And, like, is a Regal Caracal ever winning the game where they actually kill your Regal Caracal? Like, the cats just aren't ever winning a game, whereas Lyra can potentially just win a game. Teferi was 7 or 8-ish. I don't remember. Could potentially go back to Gearhulks now too. That's something to consider. No, she's 7 or 8 now. She's going down. I'll look it up. I only paid like 8 for mine today. Unless she's gone up since I started streaming her. Goatbots. Let's find out. Price list. Teferi is currently $8.59. Yeah. Lyra's 12 or $8.65. I'm pretty sure I paid like 12 for Lyra just a little while ago. No, I didn't. I was wrong. I did not. I was just very, very wrong. Yeah, so it's always better to wait, Geo. Like, cards go down pretty quickly. So every now and then there'll be a card like Chain Whirler, for example, which come out at like $1 and people didn't realize it was good. Then it spiked to like $3.50, but like now it's back down to like $1.08. But like if it blows up in a PTQ or something, it may spike again. But cards drop pretty quick. Karn was 40 when it come out. So unless cards prove to be like absolutely insane, example like Scarab God was 3.5 and went to 50, stuff like that. But yeah, the card prices drop really, really fast on opening weekend. The promo of this looks so pretty. Goblin chain. These are like $5 in real life. Yeah, these were like 2.7 over the weekend or something. Yeah, like all these cards are great, but like, are they format defining great? And the format defining great cards are the ones that are going to spike / maintain value. Is what I was trying to explain. Like, obviously, Still Leafs Champion is great, but like, it was $7 when it come out. So unless like this proves to be a tier 1 deck, like the card's not going to go back up. Hey Jasper, thanks man. Here is the updated Saproling http.deckbuilder. Appreciate it so much, man. That was a really sweet deck. Like I was telling Chad, if I had to lose to 5-0, I'm pretty happy that I lost to something very cool. Huh. I've never saw this website. I'll pull it over for like the YouTube folks to see. Is there any way I can get it all on the screen? There we go. You were right, Murph. Memorial to Folly, which is the reason he fatal pushed the Lords. Couple Lost Legacies, a Contempt in the side, 3 Contempts in the main. Ooh, Immortal Sun. This deck is sweet. I really like it. Big fan of this deck. What kind of matches have you had with it so far? Like, what's been good and stuff? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Cards like Jace, Scarab God, stuff that like people didn't initially think were amazing, but then like blew completely up. Those are the cards that like go to $1 million on Moto. This deck is sweet. I'm a big fan of this deck. We went 4-1 Unabomber or Unknown Basher. Sorry, I'm done for today. I was just waiting for Jasper to show up and share his sweet deck with us. Pretty big fan of his deck. Actually has less creatures than I expected, but then again, I guess technically this is a creature, and this is a creature, and this is a creature, right? Is it enchantment in the main deck? Yeah, the enchantment's in the main deck. Oh, cool, opponent's 4-0. You were asking him, yeah. Hope you get to 5-0, man. Man, leave me alone. I'm not very bright. I want to go to bed. It's 1:30 a.m. and there's ice cream in my fridge. I still have all of this stuff I have to do tonight. I've got a task. I've got to make eBay auctions, get eBay orders ready, do some research on some movies, and start playing an RPG. So many things I still have to do. I wish Jasper was streaming. I'd like to watch his deck. This deck's certainly sweeter than what we were playing. I have no idea where it is. Did I put it on my desktop? I did not. Is this gonna work? Hey, that did work. We just have to move the sideboard back over. I didn't memorize the sideboard. I'm assuming all of this stuff is in the sideboard, but I didn't memorize it, so guess I'll just pull the list back up. I sure hope people on YouTube aren't still watching this video, assuming that we're playing more Magic. Oh, both Bloodfast would be over here. The 4 Duresses would be over there. The Fungal Infestations? Would probably be main. What else was over there? Oh, Naturalizes would be over here. I guess that's it then. Okay, never mind. I did remember. Well, I didn't remember, but I was able to deduce it. Deduce. Keep the deck a secret. There was one that 5-0'd, but it wasn't as sweet as this. Let's go ahead and open our 8 chests because we're in a good mood tonight. Even though opening 8 chests is ridiculous and this is not something you should ever do. I don't know if it's better. I don't know if it's better at all. We just finished and we were looking at the deck that our opponent played. Hey, we finally got the dinosaur. Now we have them all. Selfless Spirit's kind of worthless. Let's go ahead and throw it in a trade binder though, because we definitely don't want it. What the heck? Anyway, we're opening our 8 chests and then we're jumping out of here. Yeah, that 5/5 that could kill Hazard seems kind of sweet. That card has to be worth nothing. Foreign Elemental is an uncommon. I didn't realize that. Noble Hierarch. That's a little bit of money. And a Garruk. I don't know what Noble Hierarchs are on Moto, but it's something. It's a promo too. It's kind of cool. We did not 5-0, Reggie. We got crushed by the Sapperling deck we're looking at. I guess that was the right Garruk. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. What the heck are you? I was like checking out our cool cards. Celestial Mantle. That can't be worth anything. I definitely choked last match. I think game 1 we were definitely a favorite if we hit a land, but we certainly didn't hit a land in time. That's the RPTQ Noble? I didn't know. Murph can't spell, so he can't figure it out. 20 play points. Not bad. It's something, who knows. It doesn't matter. We'll sell it at some point. And maybe we'll buy something. Mind Sparker. Mind Sparker was cool. I always wanted to see more play. More play points. Wish I could opt out of getting play points out of chests, but that's fine. And then a Kodolpha Phoenix, which also just can't be worth anything. But we got a Noble Hierarch. So we did well for our chests. Apparently I have Flame Wake Phoenixes, and I don't know why, where, or how. We're so broke. Alright, well that's our chests. I'm going to look up the Noble Hierarch before I leave, because I want to know what type of riches we just discovered. We opened, let's see, what are chests at the moment? Chests are like 2.54, so we opened like 20 bucks of chests, a little over, and we got a Noble. Yeah, they're not worth much on Moto. I just had no idea I owned them. They're worth a little bit in real life. 25 tickets for that Noble Hierarch, so looks like we ran about even. Wait, which one did we get? Yeah, we got the new one. 24.7 ticks. It's this one right here. So, we made a little bit on the chest at least. Anyway, so that's going to do it for me tonight. Kind of glad we didn't 5-0, because now we're allowed to escape and go do real world things, and maybe Geo will give us a stream. Who knows? Who is streaming, and are they streaming standard? Oh, Hodgepodge is streaming. His deck is sweet. You guys will like Hodgepodge's deck. He's a pretty good player. He's always around like the top 8s and PPTQs and things of that nature. He's a pretty intelligent guy. He interacts with chat a lot. And right now he's playing a Karn Antiquity Wars Grixis, or is it blue-black, like, you know, Herald of Anguish to Fairy deck. Like, it's really sweet. And he's new to streaming, so go give this guy some love. And more card draw. I could very well. We cut the ops from this build and we cut a search from this build, so more card draw, something we can definitely think about. But anyway, for those of you who don't know me though, since we did have quite a bunch of people out here tonight, I'll throw my spam out and say, give us a follow. We stream 365 days out of the year. I plan on being back about 5 p.m. tomorrow Eastern. Have absolutely no idea what deck I'm going to play though. Just have no idea at all. We might play the Sapperling deck because it's really sweet, but we may play Riddle Form or something. Who knows? I like having hard counters, man, especially if there's going to be so many like blue, white, and blue, black decks. But anyway, take care, everybody, and hopefully you enjoy Hodgepodge's Brew, because the Antiquity Wars has been really sweet. I watched them for quite a few hours while I was working last night. Take care, everybody, and thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all the new follows and for the 9-month resub, JJ. Pew. Goodbye. I just didn't do that at all right, did I? I guess it's this.